I'm live or alive, whichever way you want to look at it. Hello. Hi, Joanne. Nice to have you. Carolyn, good morning. Nancy, good morning. Here we are. All right. So I had a thought today. Got to get my thing started. Sorry. All right. Here's my thought. That what's really important is that we're active in our health, whether that's aging, whatever it is. So the fact that you guys are here, the fact that you are showing up to move your body, to manage your mind, whatever parts of the practice mean the most to you, resonate the most, or even that you get, right? Because there's so much that's shared, whether it's physically for our body, and then there's also the wisdom that I like to impart, and some days are definitely more than others. It's all of that. And so it kind of, we absorb what we absorb in different layers. And it seems that sometimes we need this, sometimes we need that. So whatever it is that you need, hopefully you get. Good morning, Lynn and Dave. Cindy, good morning. So here we are. Anything to report? Anything you'd like to say? And if you'd like to share parts of your physical body that are experiencing pain and discomfort, and whether that is from a physical aspect in your life or from those invisible layers of stress, the subconscious mind, which eventually shows up in our tissues somewhere. So, all right. So this is the 7th week of our 8-week session. And then we have next Saturday, and then we'll be off for a week, and we'll be back the week before Thanksgiving. And that will be, and then we'll go whatever. So it's a 4-week session for the next. I just stay with the schedule that the hospital has. So, and then I'll go away next week on my week off. I've already got my little trip planned. I'm going to go up to Cambria again, which is one of my favorite places. And I actually treat it like a mini detox. So I take my blender with me and my teapot with me, and I hydrate and I drink smoothies and I do a lot of physical work, whether it's walking or meditation or whatever. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that. It's a week from now. Hi, Raina. Good morning. All right. So I think that I'll get started now that you're all here. And of course, before I go back there, if you want to tell me anything, can you please let me know? Hi, Dina. Good morning. All right. So I thought today we would focus on starting at our feet and thinking about our body from our feet up, thinking about our joints, thinking about our tissues, because the more body awareness you have, the more you understand your body, the function of your body, the easier it is for you to take care of yourself. And that is something that's really important. All right. So I am going to, I always feel like a little person when I do this. Walking back, walking back, walking back on my lower legs. Okay. All right. So here we are. So for today's practice, let's gather your props, a blanket, a block, and a strap. A blanket, a block, and a strap. And I'd like you to, once you get everything and you move it off to the side, bring yourself to wherever you are and close your eyes, because when the eyes are closed, we take away the visual field, and the optic nerve is responsible for up to 80% of the information that's brought into the brain. So close your eyes. And then notice what you notice when the eyes are closed. Notice first external, so sounds. Notice where those sounds are. Notice if the sounds are on the right side of your body, the left side, the front, or the back. And if one sound predominates everything else, listen in the other areas and see if there's sounds that maybe you're not able to notice because one sound is louder than the others. Then imagine right now that with this external awareness looking away from you, noticing sounds away from you, let's see if we could turn that inward and move from the outside to the inside. The eyes are closed. Go inside to the place where you can hear and see with the eyes closed. So the heart is beating. Can you hear it? If we put a stethoscope on your chest right now, we would hear that lub-dub, 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 lub-dub. So it exists in your body. See if you can pay enough attention to feel and to notice your heartbeat. And then notice other sensations in your body, like volume control switches. Some of you may have more volume control switches than others. Some volume in certain areas of your body may be louder than others. Just notice that fluidity and that receptivity of sound waves, whether they're external to you and now internal. And then let's bring our hands together, rub our hands together. Cover your eyes. And then blink your eyes open. So that whole thing about sound, that's one of the most profound ways. I don't know if you feel a little mellow right now. It's one of the ways to actually get your mind to stop. When you're in a place of everything is going crazy, stress, pressure, whatever, one of the amazing ways to stop the madness in the mind is to close the eyes and to either focus on something like sounds that are external or to bring your awareness to your body. So for those that are managing with chronic pain in the body, I talked about it in terms of volume control switches. There's volume, can be up and down. So wherever you have issues in your body, that's what I was referring to there. And at one point in my life, I did have pain in my hip always, every day, all day. I don't have anything now. So it's very interesting when there is something and then there isn't something. Let's sit on our tushies for a second. Take your legs long and take them, bend them, and just move your legs back and forth. The other thing is that things become the first way that energy takes on a form is through sound. So you have energy everywhere. You know, Nikolai Tesla and Albert Einstein said that everything is made of energy. Everything, every human, every bird, every blade of grass, cloud, water, everything is made of energy, and it takes on a shape. And the first way that things come from the field of energy into a form is through sound. So when you close your eyes and you listen to sounds like that, and then especially if you put yourself in a place where you have beautiful sounds like the ocean or birds or something like that, it could be a way for you as a human to plug yourself into life force energy or consciousness, or if that is too weird for you, to plug yourself into recharging yourself, recharging your soul. So it's like a soul recharge to connect to nature. All right. So let's go down. Let's let some of that maybe percolate into your mind. I'd like to do some kind of chest opening because it seems that what happens up here contributes to so much not good stuff down here. When there's poor posture in the body, it relates in domino effects negatively to so many things. So let's do a basic and probably manageable for most, because you all have access to a blanket or a pillow or a towel. And I'm going to take this blanket really long wise so that when I create a roll, it's a really tall roll. I find this to be a way for me to really stretch some of the deep postural muscles, my arms, my shoulders, and my spine. It's a really lovely way for me to stretch my body. So put this here on your mat. And we're going to begin with our tushy right by the blanket, not on it. And then you're going to bring yourself onto the blanket so that the blanket is on your spine, and leave your knees bent, your feet are flat. Once you get down onto the ground, you may need to adjust the head part. So for some of you, you'll need to fold the head, give yourself more support up by the head, or not. And then bring your arms out to the side. Take your feet a little wider than your body. So the feet are wider, the knees fall in towards each other. And you're going to bring your awareness to your eyes as you close them. And when you close them, you'll actually be able to feel also what's appropriate for you. So set yourself up here so that you could get a nice deep opening the front of the spine, opening the armpit area, where so much communication in your body takes place. Lots of vessels, blood vessels, lymphatic vessels, nerves, travel through the armpit area, the chest area, travel down the spine, branching off in the neck, and then all the way down the center of the spine by the lungs and the heart. The kidneys, off the lower lumbar, is where the kidneys receive the vessels and nerves that help with detoxification. So we need our body to be limber and free and unobstructed so that all these miraculous body functions, respiration, digestion, circulation, and then your hormones can be secreted and function. And then a real biggie, detoxification, to keep you free flowing and unobstructed. Let the back teeth separate. So the arms are to the side. I'd like to do some breath today with some finger movement, because this can really help to focus the mind. And the days that you need more focus, this is a good add-on in breathing so that you can get yourself nice and focused. So we can really focus our mental energy. So you're going to take your thumbs and you're going to slide your thumbs up your pointer finger. You could do both at the same time or one at a time, whatever. Slide your thumb up your pointer finger, and when you get to the top, press really hard. And then slide the thumb down the pointer finger. And then bring the thumb over to the middle finger, slide the thumb up the middle finger, press really hard, and then slide the thumb back down. So we're going to do this. We're going to inhale up, press, and exhale back down. So bring your thumb over to your pointer finger at the base of the pointer finger. Take a big exhale, let everything go. Inhale, finger up the finger, the pointer finger with the thumb, press at the top, exhale, slide down the finger. Inhale, thumb slides up the middle finger, exhale down. Inhale, thumb slides up the ring finger, press, exhale down. Inhale, slide the thumb up the pinky finger, press, exhale down. Continue. You inhale to slide your thumb up the finger, you press strongly at the top, and then your exhale down the finger. Go at your own pace. Doesn't matter if you get stuck, just keep sliding the thumb up the finger, press at the top, slide down the finger. Up the finger with the thumb, feel the thumb pressing into the finger, press at the top, and then slide down. Continue. Inhaling up, pressing, and sliding down. If you'd like, try one hand at a time. And let's all do our last 10 breaths together. Take a big exhale. Take your thumb on your right pointer finger. Inhale, slide the thumb up to the tip of the right pointer finger. Exhale, thumb down. Inhale, slide the thumb up the middle finger on the right hand only. Press, exhale down. Inhale, right thumb up the ring finger. Press at the top. Exhale down. Inhale, slide the thumb up the pinky finger. Press, slide down. Left thumb, inhale up the pointer finger. Press at the top. Exhale down. Slide the left thumb up the left middle finger. Press at the top. Exhale down. Left thumb up the ring finger. Inhale. Press at the top. Exhale down. Inhale up the pinky finger. Press at the top. Exhale down. Inhale, spread both hands, make a big fist at the end of the inhale, stretch, stretch, stretch. Exhale, make a fist. Last breath. Inhale, stretch your hands. Exhale, slowly, slowly, slowly make a fist. Let your hands rest. Mouth is closed. Breathe in through the nose. Bring your awareness to your left palm. Feel your left palm, the center of the palm. Feel the left fingers, the pointer finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, the pinky, and the thumb, the left fingertips. Bring your awareness over to the right hand, the right palm, the center of the palm. Feel the palm, notice what you notice. The right fingers, pinky, ring, middle, pointer, and the right thumb. See them, feel them with the eyes closed. The entire right hand. Bring your awareness to the left palm, to the right palm, left palm, right palm, left palm, right palm, and then both palms at the same time. Both palms. Bring your awareness from your palms into your body. Go to the areas that you normally have issues. Your low back, your shoulders, your feet, your ankles, a wrist or two. Notice the volume of the sensations. Bring your awareness to your heart. 3 breaths to the chest. Big breaths. Feel your chest stretch. Feel this last breath. Bring your awareness to your fingers, to your toes. As you wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Notice if there's any digestive sounding in your tummy. If your body feels relaxed enough to repair, to digest, to heal, and to restore. And then roll onto your side. Let your body relax. You're going to bring your hand onto the ground. So we're going to intentionally and thoughtfully move up by pushing, using the pushing muscles of the body and not the pulling muscles. So you're not going to lift your head and roll to your back to pull yourself up, which is what a lot of us do. We're going to actually look down towards our hand, spread your hand pretty wide. You could bring your upper leg up and the upper leg can help you. So this is like a piston in a car, comes up, goes down, comes up, goes down. We're going to use this, the force of the movement down, to help bring ourselves up as we use our pushing muscles away from the floor. Spread your hands, push the fingers into the floor so you distribute the weight that's in the hand that's on the ground. Take an inhale, bring your leg in, and as you exhale, push your leg away and push yourself up to a seated position. The breathing sequence that we just did was so much stress management, brain yoga. So on one side, one point, we were Inhaling, our fingers were moving up the finger, pressing at the top, and then sliding down. The thumb was sliding up the next finger, press, slide down, and up and down. That actually fires up and uses a lot of neurons in specific parts of your brain. That is not the place that we're always at, where we're in chronic stress and causing a lot of ill health. So this is actually sensory cortex called the homunculus, coming right here when we were doing this. We ended that part of the practice with our awareness here. So we actually really were firing up and shifting to a part of our brain that is dedicated for the whole hand. So we were getting those neurons that are responsible for feeling what is happening here in the palm when we had our awareness here in the palm. We went right side, left side, right side, left side. And you know, there's a crisscross pattern. So right palm is left brain, left palm, right brain, left brain, right brain, left brain, right brain, and then both at the same time. So when you are having a really hard time slowing down your mind, this can be really amazing. It was taught to me during a training in yoga therapy for Parkinson's, because with Parkinson's, there's a lot of misfiring of neurons, and to get everything harmonized when you do this, to get the brain to really focus. We did a lot of feeling work today, feeling and noticing. And when you're feeling, you're also in your intellectual brain. You're not in the back part of your brain, the subconscious, unconscious brain, where breakdown and pain and suffering takes place. So lots and lots. And then we began today's practice with sound awareness, sound outside, sound inside. And those are all techniques to use when you're off your mat, when you're having trouble in life with stress or whatever's going on, when you need to be present moment and you need to come to the place of healing. These are techniques. Sound, breathing with your fingers. And this also, from a physical perspective, from musculoskeletal stress, this actually helps with arthritis and moving the joints, which is going to lubricate the joints. It also stretches your hands and your fingers maybe in ways that we're not used to using them. So there's a stretch that takes place. We did the palms open, palms closed. That's a great way to get a lot of the arthritic deposits that can get sticky in your joints and cause some issues with mobility and movement. Get all that to move as well. So I threw the kitchen sink at you today with this beginning practice with so many different tools to put into your treasure chest for stress management, using feeling, using fingers, hands. And if you do look up the sensory cortex, the homunculus it's called. And they draw images where they have the top of the brain, the sensory cortex. It's right here in the center of the brain. They have this part of the brain where there's the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. And they draw a picture along the top of it of what it relates to. And if you see the image, the hand is really big because there's so many neurons there. The lips and the tongue, really big. So singing, sounding, ma, 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 ba, 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 da, 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 all that can be really powerful for managing stress and bringing you from the primitive back brain to that front brain. So look that up, the homunculus, and see where all of these neurons and why this is so valuable. And then one more thing, let's come up like this for a second. So for those of you that have knees that don't bend, you'll need to be here. For those of us who our knees are still bendable, we could sit down on our heels. Take your hands to the side, bring your hands together, and then let your hands go down. Bring your hands together another way to fire up the homunculus, to bring left and right hemisphere together. Let's see if you could close your eyes and do this. Inhale, arms are open. Exhale, hands find themselves and come down towards the heart. Inhale, palms are open, hands go out and up, all the way up to the sky if your shoulders will let you. Palms come together as you exhale to go straight down to your heart. Inhale, open to the side. Palms find each other. Exhale, straight down to the heart. So your eyes are closed. Notice how your palms find each other. Notice how it is very linear in the center of your body with the eyes closed. Inhale, exhale down. Inhale, open. Exhale down. One more. And then also notice the shoulders may be getting a little workout here, keeping your shoulders nice and healthy. Bring yourself all the way down. Bring your awareness to your eyes. Blink your eyes open. Look down at your fingers and notice how aligned they are. Bring your hands up. This happened with closed eyes. Closed eyes. How close did that happen? Right? Really, really miraculous. The slower, the more simple the movements we do, the things we do, the more deeply profound it is in healing. So it's harder to go slower in the practice of yoga. It's harder to sit here and to close your eyes and to focus on your breath or to listen to a sound or to do these things are harder than throwing our bags of bones around and just moving ourselves without awareness and without thought into different directions. So there you go. Lots and lots of tools today for your tool chest. And for those of you that have issues in tissues, there's even a lot of tissue work that took place there today. All right, let's come on to all fours. Let's get our body moving. I'd like you to crawl around, getting back to basics the way you began this beautiful life, crawling around. Crawl, help to settle almost every single joint in the body. Keep your head up. And notice if you experience the muscular action of holding that heavy head of yours up like this. This is going to strengthen your upper back and neck. For those with wrist issues, maybe you don't walk around so much. Maybe your crawling is a back and forward motion. Or maybe it's really on all of your fingertips because you don't want to bend your wrists because you're nursing your wrists if you have wrist issues. Don't not do it. Find what you can do. And then bring yourself back to center. Bring yourself all the way up. Bring your awareness to your hands to get the tension out from what we just did. And then let's get down to our feet and stretch our feet. So you're going to come onto all fours. Take your feet back. Bend your toes. Bend your toes and move your toes around here. So move your toes around and then flatten your foot and wiggle your foot side to side. So the toenails are touching or the toenails are bending. And let it be the foot that you're stretching here. So let the foot stretch. You could even bend a little bit so you're rolling over the toes, and then do the other foot. So make it very foot focused. Get your toes to move whatever way you need to, whatever feels good for you. And yes, we're weight bearing in our upper body, so we're strengthening our forearms, we're strengthening our shoulders, strengthening our hands. So make sure that that feels okay for you. For some of you, maybe the forearm would be a better place to do this because you have issues in your wrists. And then the toenails are touching, the toes are touching. Get some mobility to happen in your feet here. So this is non-weight bearing, getting our feet stretched. And then we're going to come up and we're going to go to a weight bearing aspect of stretching your feet. So bring a foot forward and you may want to have your block handy here because you may need that for balance. I want you to unbend and bend your toes. Now there's a weight bearing aspect to this. Then come up on your toes, wiggle a little bit side to side. And then take your foot and let's see if you could bend your foot so you're coming towards the pinky toe edge. This is ankle joint. Very important for balance. So I would say that stress in the body shows up as tension, muscular tension. Whenever something happens in the mind where you feel like you need to prepare to run or to flee, whether it's known or unknown to you, that stimulates muscles to contract. And we can get a lot of tightness and held muscular tension in our body. And then go ahead and release. Let's take the foot like this. Let me see. Put the foot back, actually. Put your foot back. You could use your block here. And then try to stretch that back foot like this. And then we'll do the same thing with the other side. So if you think about You know, that if something were to happen, you would tense up, like get nervous or scared. Well, that happens in the body and that gets held in the tissues. So let's come forward with the other foot. You're going to bend and release, just whatever, come up onto your toes. So you feel something, you're wiggling, you're moving around in places that normally you wouldn't. So getting the little nooks and crannies out of your feet. Try to bend your foot as much as you can. Feel what you feel. You go up and down. And they usually say that the things that you don't like to do are probably the things you need to do the most. So notice if you have tightness in your feet or your ankles. And then let's come onto the pinky toe edge. Notice what you notice here. You can move forward and back. We need a lot of play in this part of our body, because if you do slip, trip, or fall, you want there to be a lot of receptivity here to catch you from that and to be receptive. And then take that foot back, flip the toes under so that you feel the top of your leg stretch. You might even feel that come up to your hip joint. And then go ahead and come down. So we're going to do a little bit for the hip, and we're going to do a little glute work here, lifting our body up so that we can be really nice and ready to like handle whatever life has for us to handle. I'm going to do this on my hands like this, but for those with wrist issues, if you come down onto maybe the highest level here for this, onto a forearm version, this may be better for some of you because your wrists don't like to be weight bearing. They don't like to be weighted on. So you decide what's appropriate for you. But what's really important is that your joints are stacked and aligned. So you want your elbows underneath your shoulders. So whether you come onto the block like that or you come onto your hands, and then you're going to take one leg and we're going to bend and unbend. So we warmed up the foot. Let's go to the knee joint, bend and unbend. Doesn't matter how close your leg comes to your tushy. It's about lubricating that knee joint. And then let's go the other side. And notice how the leg that you're weight bearing on actually starts to talk to you, right? That glute. Now the other leg. And then go ahead and bring yourself back. Let's take the other leg, lift that leg up and roll that leg around. So it's a ball in a socket, up and around, whatever range of motion you can get in your leg. Imagine that you have a Sharpie marker on your kneecap. Sharpie marker on the kneecap. And you're moving, you're making the biggest circle possible. This is also really great for pelvic stabilization. It's going to be good for low back health. And then bring yourself down. Let's do the other side. So up, back, and around. So it's a counterclockwise movement. Always fascinates me. This is my hip replacement. So the fact that my muscles and nerves and everything move that ball around in the socket. Pretty crazy. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's take our weight off of our hands. Put your hands forward, and let's push your body back. Tushy stays in the air. Let your forehead come to the floor, or put a block there and let your forehead rest on the block. Notice your heart rate here. Using bigger muscles needs more oxygen. Increased heart rate. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up. Let's take your block, bring your block in front of you. It could be here. Actually, let's try this one. Try the highest one. Okay, your lower legs are here. So we warmed up the foot and the ankle, the knee, and the hip joint. We're gonna do a little bit more with the hip. We're actually gonna bend the body. And we're gonna do this especially too because since posture and malalignment show up in so many of our bodies and they become a stressor on joints of the shoulders and of the spine, so low back health and shoulder health. A lot of it is when we bend at our spine instead of bending at our hip. So let's practice proper hip bending here. Now you could come all the way down so that the head goes on the block all the way down. You could, or you could come halfway, or all the way with a flat back. So this is hip. Put your block out in front of you wherever you need it. Let's begin by taking the hands down. Inhale to rise. As you come down, turn your palms out, turn your palms up. Bend your hips. Keep your throat open, your chest open. Don't bend your spine. Come down to wherever it's going to be appropriate for you. Inhale up. So you either go all the way down. You either don't go all the way down, go halfway, go to the block, or for those of you that can go all the way to the ground with a straight back, you would do that. A little bit more challenging when you bring yourself back up. Inhale up, exhale either a third of the way down, halfway down with the block, or all the way for those of you that can do that. Inhale to rise with a flat back. Go slow. If you think about pushing your tushy back first, that'll really get into the area. And this is a lot of work for the back and for the neck and the upper back. So only do what's appropriate for you. Don't try to be a superstar here. This is a much bigger movement than it looks. And for those with issues in the low back, the neck, this can actually be too much for you if you do the full range of motion. Last one. Inhale up. All right. So to rest, sit back on your heels for those of you that can, and notice so much hip flexor work. There's a lot of core, like back core work there. Some of you may have noticed that. Lots of heart rate acceleration. Let's sit and stretch our body for a second. Take your blanket and bend or fold your blanket and come to sit on the edge of your blanket. Come to sit on the edge of the blanket for a second. Let the heart rate settle. Close your eyes. You can reach down and grab a hunk of flesh to move the flesh back. Closing your eyes, I'd like you to go inside and feel the heart rate. And then gently blink the eyes open. So I like to stretch the lower back area here. So bring yourself forward, and when you come forward, the forward movement is bending at the hip to come forward. You are not going like this and rounding your spine. That's not effective. That's not what we want. You want the lower belly to come a little bit closer. And for some of you, it may not even be a big movement. Being here, maybe a lot of tightness is showing up for you. This is really exposes tightness in the glutes, tightness in the hips, tightness in the low back area. This could be tremendous for helping to release some of that stored muscular tension and stress that's in our hips and our low back. The arms on the front of the shins, pushing into the shins with the arms, helping to lengthen your spine, can feel so delicious. Take one breath. And then you're going to walk yourself over to the side. Walk, walk, walk. Push your hands down, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Feel that hip joint area, the side glute really relaxing here. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself over, over, over to the other side. Push your hands into the floor, push down and lengthen. Feel the heaviness of your pelvis. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to the center. Bring yourself back up. Look at the leg that's in the front. Look at that leg. Take your leg straight. Look at that leg. What's the leg that was in the front? Put your hand on it. Leg that's in the front, put your hand on it. And then you're going to take that leg and draw that leg in and draw the other leg into the front. May feel a little weird. And let's stretch ourselves like this. Bring your hands forward. Push your arms into your legs. Push your hands into the floor. Get nice and tall here. And smile. So you're coming forward because the forward movement is what deepens the stretch. And the leg that's in the front is the hip joint. Well, not always, but typically that's your hip that gets the biggest stretch. That's why doing this, switching the legs, can be really important. And there is actually a posture in yoga. Legs are like this, or one leg goes on top of the leg like this, and you fold forward. So I know from my own journey with my hips, this was one of the ways I would stretch my hips often. And then let's take our hands over to the side. You're still nice and flat in your back. You're pushing your hands down. Feel what you feel. This is a stretch here on the diagonal hip. Also some rotational muscles, which are some of your core muscles. Just stretching, releasing the tension in the middle of the body. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself over to the other side. Keep your spine long. That's what's important. Don't get so caught up with bending forward, because bending forward is not what matters. What matters is long spine in a neutral position and then bending at your hip joint. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself all the way up. Let's take the legs. Shake, shake, shake. Point your toes really strong so you actually know point. Heel slide away. Point and flex. Point and flex. And then open out and together. Take your hands down alongside your body when you do this. And then take your soles of your feet together. So the soles of the feet together, this kind of creates a nice base. Lift down and grab the flesh, move the flesh away. One side and then the other. So this creates a really nice base here. It can be pretty supportive. And if you need to move your feet away a little bit more, go ahead and do that. Let's take the hands behind the head. Elbows are to the side. Inhale. As you exhale, let the elbows come towards each other. Let the chin come towards the chest. Feel that stretch up the back of the neck. Inhale to open. Look across the room up where the wall and the ceiling meet, or look higher than eye level. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more. Stay here. Push your elbows back. Open your throat. Feel the tension as you try to really hold yourself up here. A lot of work here to hold yourself in this position. Press your elbows to the side. Lift and open your throat. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and release. Take your head back and forth, side to side. Fold your legs. Let's do a little lateral movement, side to side. Stretching the low back. Try to keep your arms alongside your body and not in front of you. I think this feels good. One more. Each direction. And then bring yourself back. All right. So when we do the seated type work, there's a lot of weight bearing. So there's a little bit of a deeper stretch that takes place there when we do that. So we're going to go down using our block and our strap. So let's bring yourself all the way down. Come all the way down, down, down. Onto the blanket. Push your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis up. Let's do a little stretch here for the hips, just a little in this position here. So take your feet so the heels are on the mat, toes are off, and start to let your legs go side to side, stretching the whole front part of the body here. And when you do stretch, notice places where you notice that there is tension. And so this part of the body, now the top of one of the hip flexors, the psoas, is attached to the lower back. And this is an area of the body that when there is stress in life, there's that protection that happens. The psoas plays a big role in that. And so stretching your body, taking out any potential of your body turning into a flexed position, trying to really open up and release. And then bring yourself back to center. So let's do a little here to stabilize this part of your body, the pelvic area. Keep that pelvis stable. And when we work on stabilizing muscles and joints, work on stability. It's not just physical stability, it's stability in life, because we are mind-body complex. So making ourselves really strong and stable here on the mat, really important for when we're off the mat, because the way we feel in our body and the strength and the stability we feel here translates to us feeling strong and stable in our mind. So let's take the hands down alongside the body, and then take your legs, unbend your legs like this so that you're in a pretty neutral position. And then toes are pointing away from you. Let's tilt the pelvis backwards so the top edge of the pelvis touches the ground and the low back is pressed into the ground. So start with that posterior tilt in your pelvis, and then squeeze your tushy cheeks. And on your next inhale, so let's exhale. Inhale. And then exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So still in that tilted position, you're not going very high. You go high enough so that your hand can go underneath your tushy, but in some cases, depending on how much tushy stuff you have, you may still be able to feel the flesh grazing the back of the hand because you're not lifting super high. I want this to stay in the glutes, the hamstrings, the lower body, the pelvic area, and the low back. We don't want this, the rib cage stays on the ground. On your next one, I want you to come up and stay up. Now your feet need to be hip distance, so not as wide as the body and not wider than the body. Keep the hips where they are, and then little pulses. Pulse. See if you can feel heat in your pelvis here. And then stop and go ahead and come all the way down. Take a break. You know, when we do some of this work, we use one of the glutes that we work, the glute minimus, which is the smallest of the glutes. Sometimes we focus on the bigger muscles, and then the little muscles, the smaller muscles, don't get to have their strength. And it usually, mostly it's the smaller muscles that are the ones that we need for stability. And we need stability so we can handle and manage our lives, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Let's contract the core, flatten the low back, feel the top edge of the pelvis touching the ground, and then peeling your tushy away from the ground up to about the low ribs so that you can get that clearance. Then push your left foot into the ground, lift your right leg off. Maybe you can lift it off, maybe you can lift it all the way up, keeping the pelvis stable here. Push the left foot into the ground, feel what you feel in your body. Deep breaths. And then bend that right foot, right knee, bend the right knee, put the right foot on the floor. Get the stability first of the right foot before you lift the left off, and then left in the air. If you'd like, you don't have to do the leg in the air. You could keep your leg here. Do what's appropriate for your body. Make sure you're posteriorly tilted, so really stay down low here. Take one more breath. And then bend. Bring that knee down. Bring the leg down. Take the legs long for a second. So lengthening out this part of your body. Take your arms overhead if your shoulders will let you. Not all shoulders will allow the arms to lift this high. And then go ahead and bring your hands down. Let's bend the legs. So I'd like to go into moving the spine, going a little higher in the spine. So let's take our strap. And if you have a strap that could be looped, I'd like you to loop your strap. So some of you have a strap that has a D ring and you can loop it. Some of you don't, or you're using a belt from your closet or a strap from your robe. So whatever it is you're using, you could actually tie a circle. So whatever it is you have, go ahead and gather it. And then let's take the legs into the body. Let's put the strap around the legs. So strap goes around the legs. So there is a space. It's about a block space here. We're going to do a little bridge action here. We're going to get ourselves to stay nice and linear. So we were lifting the lower part of the body off, working the lower body. We're going to start to go a little higher now and strengthen your spine in a nice stable position. So I'm going to say that this is good for managing the stress of poor posture and poor alignment. Take your blanket away from the back of your head and then walk your feet away from you a little bit, so not too close with your feet. Let's take the hands, palms are up. Palms face the body, thumbs are up. Lengthen the back of the neck, tuck the chin towards the chest. Push out on the strap. Feel how that activates the side of your body. Exhale. As you inhale, push your low back into the floor, so you're tilting your pelvis, pushing on the strap. Push your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis up off the floor, bring your left hand up and roll your head to the right. Go slow. Exhale to lower. Make it be your whole entire breath. You don't come away from the floor too high with your back. Inhale to lift, and exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale. One more each side. Go slow. See what you could feel. Start with the low back pressing into the ground. Peel the spine off up to below the heart. You're not going too high here because you're rolling your head and you don't want too much tension in the upper back and the neck and head area when you roll your head. Bring yourself all the way down. Walk your feet closer so your feet are all the way closer. Lift your head up, tuck your chin towards your chest. Lift your upper body up so you get more narrow across the top. You slide your shoulder blades towards the spine and you feel yourself really narrow on the top. Let's take a big exhale. Push out on the strap. Flatten the low back and inhale. Peel your spine up and away from the floor. Don't look side to side here. Feel your back coming away from the floor. Close your eyes so you feel what you're doing. And then exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Really feel your spine here. Undulate through your spine. Stay here. Take one more breath. And then slowly, slowly, slowly bring yourself down. Bring your legs in, take your strap off. Bring the blanket back behind your head. And draw your legs into your chest. Taking care of ourselves, keeping our body strong and mobile, doesn't have to be a challenge. It doesn't have to be hard. Go slow, go at your pace. When you do move slow through these movements and you load up your joints slowly and your muscles slowly, it's actually harder to do that and really effective. Let's come into a twist, taking the tension out of the back. So for the twist, you may need the block. It really depends on you, and I'd like you to do what's appropriate. The thing about twisting is this. You've got your heart pointing up to the sky, right? So if you had flashlights in your heart, these are your heart lights. Then you have these hip bones here. You have flashlights going up to the sky. These are your hip lights. When we do rotation, the hips lights move in a different direction than the heart. And that takes place, a lot of it, 80% is right here at the thoracolumbar joint where the middle back and low back meet. So we're going to be stretching back muscles, core muscles. You got to really be in your own body and see what's appropriate for twisting. It is the motion that a lot of people injure themselves in when they're bending to get something and reaching to the side to get it. It's where we could do a lot of damage. And partly because from a deep emotional protection aspect of you, this is the part of your body that really is always on high alert for protection and can get dehydrated and have too much stress response that's taking place there. So let's be very mindful when we do our rotation today, mindful of the center area, mindful meaning present moment awareness, being right there, being in your body so that as you move into your twist, you move into where the appropriate feeling of the movement is, as opposed to thinking, oh, I need to get my legs to the floor, I'm twisting. We're not thinking about the destination. I want you to explore the journey or enjoy the journey or feel the journey. So have your block handy, walk your feet closer to your body, pick your tushy up and move your tushy off to the right. So the rib cage stays on the floor, but the tushy moves off to the right. Then you draw your knees into your chest. Keep your rib cage on the ground. Arms are out to the side. As you begin to let your knees, have your knees high up by your chest. Don't have your knees down here and then move. That's harder on the low back. You need your knees to be up to your chest as you rotate to the side. And then maybe you can't get that far. There's too much pulling on your body. So you may need to have a block underneath your legs or in between your legs or in between your ankle. So if you need the block, put the block where you need it. The arms are to the side. See if you could keep the right shoulder blade, because our legs are to the left. Can you keep the right shoulder blade towards the floor or on the floor, right? Because this is a safety feature that's happening in your body. If the right shoulder blade is lifting away, it's because the enormous weight of the lower body, pelvis is the heaviest bony structure in the body, is moving to the side. The hip lights are pointing to the side. So you want to try to get your heart light to point up towards the sky as much as your body will let you. And that's where we're going to be stretching. Take your left hand on top of your right thigh if that's important or if it's possible. And then also create space in your right waist. So bring your awareness to the top of your right pelvis or the right side of your pelvis. And push the pelvis away from you from deep inside your body, creating space. And if you'd like, you could reach that right arm up a little higher if that's appropriate for you. This is like wringing out tension in your body. So twisting can be really profound to release a lot of stored muscular tension, a lot of stored stress. Deep breaths here. You could close your eyes and listen and notice sounds around you, especially if you have any outside sounds like birds. Take one more breath. On your exhale, let everything release. Wherever you feel tension, can you let the weight of your arms go, the weight of your legs go, the weight of your whole pelvis go, the weight of your torso? To come out of this, I'd like you to turn your head to the left, which is the direction of the twist. Draw the right knee up high towards your chest and start to bring the right knee back. Bring the left leg high and then the left leg, and then bring yourself down. Bring your hands down alongside your body. Lift your pelvis up and put your pelvis back into a neutral position first. Draw the knees into your chest. Realigning anything that got out of alignment or whatever happened. And then you're going to put your feet down on the ground. We're going to do the same thing with the other side. So push your hands into the ground, your feet into the ground, lift your pelvis and move your pelvis off to the left and then place your pelvis down. The rib cage stays where it is. And then draw the left leg in and the right leg pretty high. And then arms are to the side as you start to let your body, legs stay high, rotate over to the right. Feel what you feel here. Lots of low back, lots of hip. Do you need the block between your legs, between your ankles? Do what's appropriate for your body. Keep yourself safe. You could turn your head the opposite direction of the twist, which in this case would be to the left. You could take your hand to hold your left leg if that's what you need in your body. Bring your awareness to the left waist, to the top of the left pelvis, and deep inside, lengthen, find length on the side of your body. Push your left pelvis away, left side of your pelvis. Deep breaths here. Twists can actually have a calming effect on the mind. That's why if you come into this thoughtfully and with total awareness, you could actually allow the parasympathetic nervous system innervates the thoracic spine. And when we rotate our spine, we actually stimulate the relaxation zone of our nervous system. As long as you come in with awareness and you're not creating too much tension elsewhere. Take one more breath. You're going to come out by drawing the left leg really high. Start opening to the side, and then the right leg lifts up high and come back to neutral. Push your feet in. Draw your knees into your chest. It's time for Shavasana. We're going to enter the Shavasana with all the relaxation that we just created with our twisting. So coming into whatever feels appropriate to you, your legs could go straight, your legs could go up the wall, whatever you'd like. Find your Shavasana. Begin to deepen the breath. Start to bring movement to your fingers, your toes, your ankles, your wrists. And bend your knees. Draw the knees in. Rolling onto your side. We're going to come to a seated by pushing ourselves away. If you'd like to use the top leg to help you do that, inhale, draw that leg in, and then exhale, push yourself up. Coming to a seated position, we'll close with sound. Sound is the first way that energy takes on a form. Sound waves. So let's tap into our deepest energy before it is in the form of sound and turn it into sound with the letter M sound. Bring your hands together. Bring your hands to touch your sternum bone. Press your heart to your hand to your heart. That helps to activate postural muscles in the spine. Lengthen the back of the neck. Tuck the chin down towards the chest. Take a deep exhale to create space for you to make sound. Then inhale. We bow to each other in namaste. Namaste. All right. So I did a long explanation of twisting today because it dawned on me how often people are twisting incorrectly and how twisting can be so amazing and therapeutic and have so much tremendous value. Yet, if done wrong, it can actually poke the monster or aggravate or pull something in your body. So hopefully that was a nice tutorial and you learned a little something there. Hi, Martha. I think I saw that you were there. I can tell from afar your little symbol, the Martha symbol. All right. So I hope you're feeling good. I hope you learned some things today to take off your mats. Thank you for joining me. Wow. See, it's like it just happens, right? You energetically, with your energetic waves, Cindy probably sent me a message. Oh, great. What? Wow, fast as a minute. Great, good. All right. Until we meet again. Isn't that amazing though, how the hands, they just find themselves. They find themselves. They find themselves. They find themselves. They find themselves. It's just crazy. Look up the homunculus. Homunculus. H-U-M-U like C-L-O-U-S or something. Homunculus. Look it up and look at the picture of the lips, the tongue, and the hands. All right. Bye, everyone. Oh, good. Yeah, Nancy, I didn't even focus on low back. Yep, low back got stretched, right? And strengthened. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.